BIP of Bizarre Interest Productions here, and let's get started with episode 5 because I will get this review out before 3 p.m. Promise. We've got a lot to cover, so let's get started. Episode 5 continues off from the climax of Chapter 5 with Lugrat possessed by the magic seed. In comparison to the manga, the anime adds Grossa and the Resistance planning to evacuate. Tedalina's concern was added to follow up Yidra saying his routine of a mecha fight isn't normal when Red summons the maximum Kazuna Kaiser. In the anime, before he says this, it's actually before he summons the beast, while he says that after in the manga. We get Logi's more animated shock of being in the cockpit, which I wanted to see animated for the longest time, alongside the fact he's in the blue cockpit, just like I said he would, since he fits the Blue Ranger archetype. With Yidra and Tedalina teasing him that yes, him being able to ride it means that Logi did form a bond with Red. I wish they adapted the chibi faces for it, but I think having her smile with Tet was a good call, especially since both versions have Tet call her a tsundere, which is still funny to this day. And yeah, they're in space. In the manga, Tedalina and Logi are shocked as hell, but the anime more focuses on their amazement. Either one's fine, plus, wouldn't you be shocked to see above the world in a giant humanoid robot? Because I definitely would. Red summons the Great Bond, Kazuna Sword, offering the sword handle to Logi, and while he has a sweat drop in the manga, both versions admit he'll take the sword handle as thanks for the view. Yeah, you absolutely should give him thanks. You got a free ride into space. You owe him that much. I love the speech that they make, fighting back to back. They use a Lumino Blade to cut through the void, with the original manga translations going through to use Aurora, so it fits. And they slice Lugrat Meteor into two. Both versions show the town seeing it from above, but I like the anime letting the townsfolk cheer. They decide to get rid of the pimple and explain once a magic seed goes berserk, even when the host collapses or is unconscious, it'll keep resurrecting and transform the people into a magical beast. So there's two options: kill the host or pull out the seed. How? By taking off one of your clothes. Nah, I'm kidding, but Tedalina removes her sash and exposes the crest that allow her to use Privilege Unleashed. The spoilers from the anime opening. Vricolus, the Silver Wolf of Usurpation. Doing a quick Google search, Vricolus are harmful undead creatures in Greek folklore, and given that she uses a mana seed, it fits. And she'll easily choose out this sociopath and spits him out like the pathetic tyrant that he is. In the manga, it's better because they actually use the patooey sound effect as they chomp on him and implying that he tasted like garbage. And man, do I wish that was the case. And they even kept the chibi animation of Yeti Nidra's reactions. It's so adorable. Tet's taking this seriously, and we jump to Chapter 6 content where Red and Yidra go to pet it because, well, look at it. It's so fluffy and adorable and smelly. And heck, even Tet asks Logi to pet it too. Like, take the opportunity. But the anime actually shows her it's that so face. I thought they were going to go with the awkward blush when he asks her to pet him, but she looks so bothered. Mood sus. Mood. But yeah, Tet's got the same privilege magic as the bad guys, but it's born from the wishes of saving Seed Host from a death sentence to it all. So that way, all it can do is just take away, and it's less powerful than a normal dog under regular circumstances. Honestly, that's a good trade-off. It fits her goal of wanting to take responsibility while fitting her gentle nature, while also ensuring it's not something too powerful or overpowered. Plus, I get why she didn't want to tell them. It makes her essentially the healer and the counter to the villains. Red compares it to hiding his identity as Kazuna 5, and the anime shows Yellow and Blue advising him not to do it before he got exposed in a week. And the anime makes her come across more teasing than shocked. Her being Yidra in this case. Damn it, I forgot they cut out the scene where she asks them not to tell anyone, and they're all adorably saying they won't let that happen. Well, okay, the angle was off, and they didn't add Logi in it, but it would have been funny if all three of them were in the same shot at an angle where everyone could see their faces. But now it's time for someone that was cut early from being foreshadowed at the end of Chapter 5, making his proper debut. Abu Dhabi. In the manga it's Dhabi with an H. Probably changed to not draw parallels to the United Arab Emirates. Never thought I'd be mentioning that in a video like this. And he's one of the children to the Demon Queen, mother of the Demon Lord's clan. The ever-laughing Abu Dhabi. Yep, anime added ever to the moniker. It fits. After a beat transitioning featuring how Yidra's broom works. Hey, wind magic. She made it based on a story that she read about? Nice. And Abu Dhabi's Lord shrouded the mystery. We get the obvious. They want to resurrect their mom who got sealed 1,000 years ago. And Abu Dhabi spread the seeds, causing Tet's relative harm, and the anime gives Tet the proper sign that she's actually pissed, which I appreciate. And of course, Abu doesn't care. He also has a lot of French words in his dialogue and reveals he gave them seeds and the power to help them save their towns. Which, based on what happened, we can definitely assume that was coerced because they should have some control. And the anime adds a line that he used effective seeds that caused the berserk first. While Red fights Abu with the handshake caliber, Ted outright grabs and scares Logi with demands he beat him alongside Red. And I can't even blame her or his reaction either. The anime rearranges a few events, so Tet starts to fall weak from absorbing too many seeds, but she refuses to go down with Yidra realizing the sacred sword could absorb, but Tet realizes those two need to be on offense or they're gonna lose. Then they adapt Abu insulting the townspeople and angrily compares his goal of resurrecting his mother as a more noble goal compared to them. Red seems like he's wavering so bad even Logi acts in response, and we get a flashback to episode 43 of his team's adventures where it looked like he was able to bond with two of the Ender King's generals, or at worst understand them. The anime cuts Logi using the earth magic to ground the arms, since they probably used it last episode in favor of Red using the speech, as a second win for a burning Kazuna punch, but Abu blasts him and Logi before creating a giant metallic flower out of hands. Yikes. He also says he learned not to leave another Otherworlder alive, implying someone else also came to this world like Red to stop him. I wonder who that could be. But Logi decides to be a good person for once and sacrifice himself to save Red thanks to the sacred sword absorbing some of the power to explosion damage. And did they just reveal that past Ranger died in front of his eyes? Oh, damn, either way, that's enough for Red to riot. Blasting through with enough power to deck Abu into a wall so hard, Abu complains about him also being able to power up. Interesting choice of words there. But before the fight can continue, Cthulhu is called in as a bunch of tentacles with a spell Abu says he's aware of. And we move on from Chapter 6 content to Chapter 7 content. And who else arrives but the Royal Scepter? Just as violets her spell, Shalula Shemhazar arrives. She smiles and Abu, either because she's confident she can beat him, or they have history. Red and her try to stop her to escape with no avail though. Logi's more head first on the ground than a dog while Tet uses the sword to absorb her magic power, and they animate her uncomfortableness about seeing him half naked. Funny how someone open to shipping and making fun of people also half naked, having feelings for each other, is also hesitant about seeing her own loyal man in such a position, but I digress. I'm just glad the anime actually fleshed it out. Grossa thanks Yidra and apologizes for getting desperate. In the manga, it implied that they said that they were taking shortcuts. Same meaning, but they promised to make Akalina lively again whenever they return. The manga isn't over yet, so it'd be nice to see the starter village return to normal by the end of the series. And hey, even Red agrees with me that Abu was acting like he fought other Elderworlders before, which Yidra connects to the hero that defeated the Demon Lord. And Red gets curious to the point that the anime has him grab her shoulders even though there's no written proof of the aftermath, which he tries to explain. However, Shalula shuts that down, well, more so they're flirting, since Tet's treatments and mana seeds need reporting on, so they're going straight to the capital. Even though it takes them about 3 days, Shalula decides to create a teleport gate to the imperial capital, Avalos Town, a snow-falling city and at the entrance to the sorcery tower, insulting Yidra as the episode ends halfway through a third of Chapter 7. So this episode managed to adapt the rest of Chapter 5, all of Chapter 6, and the start of 7. They did a good job, but I do have one gripe. Cutting Logi using the spell to help Red get close to Abu cuts out the fact that the hands only surrounded him because the gravity spell was aimed to make him the target. They did try to fix that by just having the hands fly to Logi, but it was a really good scene that showed that Logi was growing and improving in his relationship towards Red, and it's a little bit of a shame that it got cut out. Still, given how action-packed Chapter 6 was, I'm still impressed that they had the room to use almost everything else, and still have time for Shalula save. They used a lot more flashbacks than usual to justify Tetalina's rage, Logi's actions in saving Red, as well as Red's rage, which I wasn't even expecting them to get ahead of, given what's going to happen in a couple of chapters later, but we'll save that for the final 3 episodes. That clearly looked like the death of a ranger, maybe someone white or silver, and the black burning rage unleashed makes me wish they extended the fight just a bit longer so Abu Dhabi got more of a beatdown, so he'd have to take the fight a little bit more seriously. Plus, it actually explains that the townsfolk took the seeds, but if they were normal, they probably would have admitted it before Abu's defective caused them to activate early. Since by the time the heroes had already used the seeds, well, more so defeated the seeds, the townsfolk wouldn't have a reason to use them anymore. So it's most likely that when they did take the seeds, they chose not to affect it, and that's when the berserk action took place. I also appreciate the extra details done to be more authentic with Tedalina's anger. The changes to make certain characters' personalities fit the scene a lot more, and we finally get Cholula taking a role in the plot. Given what happens next, I'm curious to see how the next episode will transition into the next arc. But thanks for watching. If you made it this far, type in Onyx Flame in the comments. Let me know what you guys thought of the episode, and BIP of Bizarre Interest Productions, signing off.